It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Tuesday, November 28th at 11 a.m. Why did I give you the time? Why did I tell you the time? So it's Tuesday, November 28th at whatever time it is that you're listening. You guys, I am almost at a year of doing the show Monday through Friday. That will be in January, beginning of January. So basically, the end of this year will be one full year of doing the show. And I just went and checked it out. And according to Apple Podcasts, and this doesn't include Spotify, y'all, just Apple Podcasts, we have 920,000 plays of Daily Dose of Donna, which is mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing to think about it. That doesn't include YouTube views. It doesn't include, Spotify. It doesn't include anything else, just Apple Podcasts. What in the world? Who are you guys? I'm happy to have you here. Today is one of those days where I didn't feel like blow drying my hair. I'm going to get a facial. When was the last time that you went and got a facial? A lot of people on the Housewives specifically, they make it part of their monthly routine. They go, they get their facials, they get their hair done, they get their Botox, they get their waxing. I do the Botox, I do the hair. I do not do facials. And I grew up with an esthetician. Oh, I was thinking cosmetologist. I'm like, what's an esthetologist? I grew up with an esthetician as a mother. My mom is an esthetician, and she had we called it a skincare salon. That must be like an Israeli way of saying like what do you call it? Just a salon, like a beauty salon? I can't even think of like what people would call, what do you call your facial place that you go? Facial and waxing. So my mom used to do facials and waxing right across the street from CBS Television City, where they shoot Dancing with the Stars. So just by the Grove, if you know LA and all of that. But I am excited. I'm going to get a facial that she's a mom on my son's baseball team, and she works here in Sherman Oaks. So I could use a little refresher. And honestly, I'm hoping I'd take a nap, because I forced myself out of bed this morning at 4:45 a.m. because I woke up and I decided I can either go back to sleep and get an hour more of sleep, but then my whole day gets pushed, or I get up and go and work out at 5:30 a.m., which is what I did today, did some weights, and then came home and made persimmon bread, because I work out so that I eat. And I don't care what anyone says. That's the truth. I work out so that I can eat. Not that I can eat, so that I can eat guilt-free. That's the truth. It's really interesting being a woman. Like, being a woman is a crazy, crazy thing. So I have slowed down my TikTok usage in the last month or so. Honestly, if I'm going to be 100% honest, since October 7th, since everything that happened in the Middle East, it's just like thrown me for a loop. And it's not intentional that I'm not on TikTok. I'm just not drawn to it. But yesterday I went back on and I found myself getting back into it, and I had so much fun. But the problem with TikTok is that damn TikTok shop, because every single time you every single time you open TikTok, what happens? Immediately, the first thing I'm served is an ad for some sort of neck firming cream, or some sort of yesterday I bought 2 products within 10 minutes. I've never seen these people before. I didn't even look at reviews. I just bought it. I'm so easily influenced on the TikTok shop. Are you guys the same? So yesterday, within 10 minutes, I bought a neck cream, a firming neck cream, because I feel like that's my biggest insecurity. Let's see how it works. And then also I bought, it's actually called Hungover AF, but it sounds so great. Like if you have sinus pain or anything, it's this head thing that you put over your head. It's silicone, so you can put it in the freezer, or you can put it in the microwave if you want to heat it. But you can put it all over your head, and of course, it covers your eyes and just your nose. You're able to breathe. But you can sleep with it, but it's like a pressure. So it's good for headaches. It's good for sinus pain. It's good for if you want just comfort when you sleep. Got so excited. Okay. A lot of you guys are saying TikTok shop has ruined TikTok. I agree. I mean, that's partially the reason I kind of slowed down. I felt like I was going on TikTok, scrolling, and every other video was selling me something. And while I'm loving, buying all these things, it's getting out of control, right? They're serving up content with people that are selling things because obviously they're making money. So it's crazy. It's crazy. TikTok is a crazy, crazy place. I mean, algorithms in general are just so crazy. When the algorithm works really well, so like on TikTok, the algorithm works really well, right? So if you search, just say I go on TikTok right now and I search Real Housewives, within the next couple days, I will be served so much more Real Housewives content. YouTube is the same. If you guys are here, it's probably because you tend to search things I talk about. That's how you found me. That's how you found this video for the first time. Welcome if you're new. And that's just how it works. So, you know what else is crazy is Reddit. So, whenever I'm on Reddit, I went on Reddit the other day, 2 days ago, whatever, and there was a post about an iPhone from a community called, like, it's a subreddit called iPhone. And I literally just clicked on it one time because I wanted to kind of see, it had something to do with, like, iPhone issues. And I'm like, oh, this is a great resource if you struggle with your iPhone or whatever. So I open it, read it for 2 minutes, put it down. Goodbye. When I tell you, I can't go on Reddit without 46 iPhone posts being served to me. I'm like, boring. I'm not here to look at iPhone content. I'm here to deep dive on Paris and love. Reddit is a great deep dive place. It's a great place to deep dive, like cult stuff, TikTok gossip, influencer stuff, podcasters, reality stars. Do you guys go? I mean, Reddit is also, there's a lot of snark pages, which is just awful because the people on Reddit can be so mean since it's anonymous, but you can also get a lot of really good insight over there. Yeah, there's a lot of like people that hate people on Reddit. Most pages, like, I know there's a snark page on all the big podcasts, right? Not Skinny But Not Fat, The Toast. There's Jeff Lewis, Juicy Scoop, like all of them. If you have a popular or successful show, there's going to be a Reddit hate page out there for you. That's just the way it is. Whoa, some people are so mean. So I try to, like, limit my views on those kinds of pages. In fact, I had to unfollow a few of them because it's just so triggering. It's like you can't do anything right. And then, but I like Reddit for, like, finding out, like, the other day I was on a Reddit for Summer House and they were talking about Amanda and Kyle. And, like, they were deep diving. Why doesn't Amanda do all these things with Kyle? And, like, what's really going on? Is she struggling in her relationship? Is what's going on? So I don't know. Take Reddit with a grain of salt, and also realize that if you want to find people that don't like someone, you will find them on Reddit because it's anonymous, like I said. But I would highly suggest just, like, sticking with, it's a good resource. Like, for example, on Reddit, there's a this is crazy. I don't know. This is called the rant episode. This is just the episode of rants. On Reddit, there's a subreddit called, like, DIY or something like that around your house. So someone will post a picture of one little random corner in their house that's built weird, like off the side of the stairs, and it's just this, like, nook. And they send it there. It's instead of, crowdsourcing from your Facebook friends or whatever. You put it there and you say, someone give me a suggestion of what to do. So people will say, build a bookcase, put up a rail, put a plant there. I don't know. It's just like, there's good stuff there. Reddit's cool for certain ways, but oh my goodness. And it becomes addictive because, like, you want that tea, right? You want that gossip. That's why you guys watch this show. That's why you guys watch all these shows. All right. So speaking of, shall we get into the tea? I think we should, right? Okay. Today is a day where, like, I thought to myself, Tuesdays are always this way. Monday night, there's not a lot of TV on. Like, there's no Housewives show that I watch. Right? There's no Housewives show on Monday. There's a Below Deck, I think, but I don't watch all of the seasons. And there's no, Golden Bachelor. There's no Sister Wives. So I come in on Tuesday usually with, like, a low amount of gossip, unless something really big happened. Well, luckily for me, I binged 4 episodes of Paris and Love season 1 because of you guys. So we're going to talk about Paris and Love, and we're going to also talk about a couple other stories that just hit my news box this morning, and I found them kind of interesting. So if you guys want to talk about anything else, you let me know in the comments and we'll get into it. So let's get into some stories. Sorry about that camera shake. Let's get into some stories. I posted about this over on the Daily Dose of Donna Facebook group last week, but we haven't talked about it on the show. Did you watch White Lotus? I was obsessed with White Lotus seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 has not come out yet. I believe they filmed it in Thailand. But season 2 was the one with Jennifer Coolidge. I mean, Megan Fahey. Anyway, this was kind of cute. Megan Fahey and Leo Woodall, he played the younger dude. I'll show you a picture. They are officially dating and they are so freaking cute. She's older than him. I just think they're so adorable. And it's so interesting because Megan Fahey was an actress that I used to audition a lot. Like, she was on lists of mine. You know, when you're in casting, the way it works is you'll get a what's it called? You'll get a character breakdown or a script. And then usually you have to put out a list, like casting directors put together a list of people that they want to audition. And so Megan was always, she's just such a I don't know, she's just such a cutie. So she and her boyfriend are official. I know that he lives in England and she lives here. So we'll see how that works. But the one thing about White Lotus, I love that show so much. But the one thing about it is I wish that they would bring back some of the people because like I want to see the extension or the continuation of their characters. I feel like if White Lotus was on when Daily Dose of Donna was, because it wasn't, it was before Daily Dose. But I feel like if White Lotus was, I would cover White Lotus like all the time. I feel like we would do a Patreon special of White Lotus. Speaking of, this is my time to announce something that's really exciting. You guys love Zach Peter. A lot of you guys love Zach. You know I do too. So Zach and I are going to be announcing officially, so this is just kind of like off the record, but I'll announce it officially, that we're doing a joint recap show for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 1. Meaning Real Housewives of Beverly Hills will be returning, or actually not returning, coming to Netflix for the first time at the end of this month or in middle of December. And so along with that, we're going to be doing a recap show. And it's just probably going to be part of my Patreon series and part of his subscription, but I am so excited. So we're going to be recapping The Dinner from Hell. We're going to be recapping, you know, you're an alcoholic, Kyle yelling at Kim / Sutton. Like, I want to recap their outfits. I want to recap how different Kyle Richards' face looks. I want to recap how much I loved Kim Richards and Kim Richards' dating life. Remember when Lisa Vanderpump was just like this like new British woman? We had no idea what was to come with Vanderpump Rules. Oh, I'm excited. Season 1 of Beverly Hills is amazing. Adrienne Maloof. I loved Adrienne Maloof. I think she's amazing. Okay, I'll give you guys more information, but that should be coming out in the middle of December. And if you're a Patreon member, it's just going to be there in addition to everything else that I do. And if you're not, you can join and you'll get so much more fun stuff. Okay, so anyway, this reminds me actually, because we were talking about this. So Kyle Richards, Morgan Wade officially joins or like appears on Beverly Hills tomorrow night. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Oh, what I would do to get it to be tonight, right? So Morgan Wade, I'm going to make you fall in love with me. Morgan Wade shows up, and the teaser that we have seen, I posted on my Instagram stories, is basically Kyle at some tattoo artist's office, or I don't know, tattoo salon, tattoo parlor. And she's chatting with him. And then Morgan comes in, and Morgan, it just says Kyle's friend. And Morgan is famously tattooed neck to bottom, right? She's got hundreds of tattoos. And so she just happens to be there because Kyle needs to introduce her to the world because could be her girlfriend. So did I say that out loud? Anyway, I want you guys to go and try to find that teaser if you haven't already watched it, because I see something in this scene that can only be compared to, I would say, how you act towards a boy you have a crush on or a girl you have a crush on. It's kind of like uncomfortable. There's kind of like some flirty. There's a little love tap. A love tap. You know those love taps? Like, oh, stop. I thought to myself, does Kyle flirt with all of her girlfriends this way? Because I've seen her hanging out with all of her friends. I've never seen the flirt like that. But, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I just think that, I've never actually seen her flirt like with Mauricio like that, actually. Oh, stop. And the tattoo guy says, how did you guys meet? And Morgan goes, hold on. She stalked me. She stalked my. And Kyle said, yeah, I did. I did stalk her. Kyle found her. We've known this story, right? Kyle found her music at the beginning of 2022, heard it somehow, loved it, and said, I need to get this girl's attention. Posted about, not only started following Morgan, but started to post on her stories, right? And she says it in the scene. She goes, I was trying to get your attention. And then they became very close friends. So anyway, we have heard now from a variety of people that they spent some time over Thanksgiving weekend together. They're good friends. I think Morgan just had her mastectomy. So Morgan has the BRCA gene, the BRCA gene. I think it's called the BRCA gene, which is basically a gene that says that you are essentially hereditarily like more vulnerable, I guess. I can't think of the right word, to be getting breast cancer. And so, a lot of my girlfriends have had this. You get a double mastectomy if you are smart and you test positive for this gene so that you can prevent the chances of that actually happening. So I saw that Morgan was posting that she is, you know, getting that done, or she did get that done. I don't know if she got a reconstructive yet. I don't believe so, but I don't know. I don't know the details, but I'm excited to finally meet Morgan on the show. I'd love to see kind of like how they talk about her. Obviously, Morgan is going to be a storyline this season. They didn't just bring on some random friend, to talk about this, and then they're not going to bring it up. Obviously, it's going to come up tomorrow's episode. The scenes that we've seen so far are that dinner party with Denise Richards. You've seen the scene, right? Where it's a THC party, which is pot. And am I too young? I mean, too old to say that? Like a pot. It's pot. And they serve THC infused food, which by the way sounds like hell. Sounds like hell. As someone myself, like I can do a THC drink, like a can. I can do a little bit of that. I cannot do an edible. I've decided. I've tried the gummies. The only kind that I've ever been able to do without completely panicking and freaking out are the CBNs, which is a CBD with THC, but it's specifically to help you sleep. And there's a brand that I really love called Camino. And I could do a half of one, but I'll take it right before I go to bed. So I don't know if I'm tripping out of my sleep or not. I do have a lot of sleep anxiety though. So I don't know how smart it is for me to be taking any sort of like, getting high type of things before I sleep. Anyway, so yeah, but everyone gets affected very different, everyone gets affected very differently by this. But in this scene, we've seen, not only did we see Denise Richards and Camille Grammer show up tomorrow night to the dinner, hopefully it's Dinner from Hell Part 2. But then we see that, they have this big conversation where basically Garcelle is saying like, let's talk about your marriage. By the way, we have not talked about the little clip that we saw about Dorit and Garcelle. Garcelle and Dorit have a weird relationship. This was weird that I did that with my hands. They have a weird relationship. They seem to like each other. I know Garcelle has said she likes Dorit and Dorit has said she likes Garcelle. But for whatever reason, they always go a little tit for tat. They don't have like major arguments, but they get a little, they just like poke a little each other, right? Lots of microaggressions we've heard from Dorit's side. So Dorit is, talking in this one clip, and it goes to Garcelle, who's kind of covering the scene in her confessional. And she says, the only thing that I found was really strange was the fact that Dorit still had all of her jewelry after she was robbed, and then takes a sip, which is like, did I say that? Did I say that out loud? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens over there. But clearly, I mean, what do you guys think? In the comments right now, what do you guys think? I believe Dorit was robbed. I believe Dorit really did go through that robbery. Do you believe that any part of this robbery was created or, you know, executed, implemented by an inside job? Just curious. I do believe Dorit went through it. You know, one of my best friends, Valerie, was the therapist on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills a couple times, but on this last season, she was Dorit's therapist. I don't know if you guys remember when Dorit was going through her PTSD, like right after the robbery. So therapist Val is what they call her. Valerie is my best friend, Valerie Sedone. Shout out if you need an amazing therapist here in California. Valerie Sedone is Sadon. She's amazing. She is her therapist. And when you see that scene, Dorita's really actually traumatized. Like she really is struggling through it. We saw it all last season and we're going to see it again this season. So I do believe that whatever happened was without Dorit's knowledge. That's how I feel. But we'll have to see. Now, some of you guys think Dorit faked the robbery. I don't think Dorit faked it. I think Dorit went through it, but it did seem set up in some weird capacity. Just there's too many things that feel weird about it, right? The leaving of the phone, the wearing the slippers, the leaving her with her ring. It's just strange. It's strange, you guys. How can we find out? We need Teresa Caputo or something. We need a medium to get involved. We need electronic cigarette, right? Allison Dubois. Allison Dubois needs to get on the case of Dorit's robbery. Anyway, Beverly Hills will be tomorrow, and that will be fun. Strange segue, but interesting. Well, Mauricio, obviously, Mauricio is no longer on Dancing with the Stars, but tonight is the semifinals for Dancing with the Stars. And remember, I was there last weekend, so I'm very invested. But we still have Allison Hannigan, Ariana, of course, Ariana Maddox. We have Charity from The Bachelorette. We have Sochi, the actress, and we have Jason Mraz. So one guy, 4 girls, and they're going to take it down, I believe, to 2 couples tonight, right? Or maybe 3. Maybe it's going to come down to 3 couples tonight, or maybe just 4. Maybe 4 will go into the finals. But are you guys going to be watching that? That will be really good. And I wonder if Mauricio is going to go again to support Emma. Absolutely. So let's see what else is going on. Jen Shah. I don't really want to talk about Jen Shah because, to be honest, like as someone that likes Salt Lake City, I am so much, even though Monica drives me bananas, I'm so much happier without Jen Shah on my TV. I feel bad saying that out loud, but it's true. She just really did not give me a good feeling. I guess that's because she's a criminal. I don't know. That would make sense, right? I loved Coach Shah, but I don't think that Jen Shah was, a positive force on TV. I just find her shady, shady, shady. But anyway, apparently her press team, her PR team is still working at full speed because now there's all this press about her and Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos. Remember Elizabeth Holmes with the one drop of blood, Theranos, that she is helping Theranos fraudster Elizabeth Holmes tone her abs. This is the craziest thing ever because I don't remember that Jen Shah was like known for her amazing abs. Anyone? So weird. It's so weird. But it says basically that she's serving a 6.5-year sentence at the federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas for running a nationwide telemarketing scheme that ripped off thousands of people. We know that. But now Page 6 is told she's running workout classes in the prison yard and giving makeup tutorials. That makes more sense with products she buys from the commissary. And she even managed a sushi birthday feast. I don't know about you guys, but this prison sounds pretty fun. I mean, a sushi feast, a makeup tutorial, like what's next? Is there a podcasting class that I can come in there and teach? So yeah, she's been reinvented as Jen Fonda and has come up with a 30 to 60 minute ab workout class she calls Shamazing. Her longtime publicist, Chris Giovanni, tells Page 6. Chris Giovanni. I can't with it all. It's too much. She lost a good amount of weight. She developed the Shamazing abs class. Okay, let's put it on record right now. Okay, on November 28th, 2023, I predicted that Jen Shah comes out of prison and declares herself a fitness professional and starts selling, going on YouTube and doing YouTube tutorials and creating her own line of like workout bands and balls and dumbbells. Promise you, this is going to happen. They're setting it up. We're setting it up because Jen doesn't have a career right now, and she's going to have to figure something out, and it's going to work out so well. Coach Shah's going to do like he's going to be part of it too. There's all these YouTubers, these my sister told me about one that she watches, like Juice and something, whatever. It's like a husband wife. And they do these like workout routines. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. She'll definitely have a podcast. She'll definitely have a workout routine. I mean, Jen Shamazing. Shamazing. It doesn't roll off my tongue. Shamazing. I would love some Shamazing abs. Sounds like something order at a Persian restaurant. Can I have the Shamazing kebab? Shamazing. 6.5 years she was sentenced to. So probably 5.5 years. I have no idea. She may get out for good behavior with Shamazing abs. Okay, so let's see what else. Oh, The Situation. Did you guys like Jersey Shore? Do you watch Jersey Shore? Are you interested in Jersey Shore? I personally loved Jersey Shore for seasons, and then I stopped watching it, but I've been told by a lot of people that it's still going and it's still going good. So maybe I'll get back in there. But Jersey Shore, Mike The Situation. Now, we all know that Mike The Situation had some major issues. He had some addiction issues. He got in trouble. He was arrested. He admits, according to Page 6, that he spent $500,000 on cocaine, oxycodone, and more amid his drug addiction. It says he at least spent that. He opened about one of the lowest points in his life, explaining how starring in the hit MTV reality show from 2009 to 2012 helped fuel his drug dependency. He told this to Entertainment Tonight. He says, I was wild. I was careless. I was reckless, and I fell prey to drug addiction. I was into everything. I had everything on me at all times in my Louis Vuitton bag. Everything. He would carry Xanax and Valium when traveling on airplanes and weed and cocaine when he wasn't. He said, my life was going so quickly that at the time I made a mistake and thought it was going to help my performance or my stamina. And for a little bit, it did. The ads are just so annoying. And for a little bit, I have to say that it did. And then, of course, it caught up to him. He said eventually he became dependent. He was addicted. And before filming Jersey Shore, originally, he said he was already addicted to drugs. But his addiction escalated once he started to make more money. He recalled struggling to hide his habit from the production crew, explaining that figuring out how to smuggle drugs consumed all of his time. All of his time. At one point, Sorrentino hid drugs in a shoe, which he disguised in a suitcase with about 20 other pairs so he could have his fix while filming in Italy. Reflecting back to the season 4 episode when he slammed his head into a wall while fighting with castmate Ron, he said, I was going through withdrawals at the time because I had ran out of pills. Anyway, he said, and then he finally said that he hit his lowest point after wrapping the MTV show when he tried heroin, which is even Matthew Perry in Matthew Perry's book. By the way, have you guys started it since I started talking about it? Because it took me a while, but since he passed away, I read it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But Matthew Perry, even at his lowest, he was taking 45, Vicodin a day. Like, he was taking crazy amounts of medication. He was drinking his face off. He said the one thing I never, ever would allow myself to do was heroin. He said there was something about that word heroin that just felt way too deep and way too dark. But anyway, so Sorrentino checked into rehab in 2015, and he's been sober ever since. He's married to his wife, Lauren, and they have their third child is being expected. So these people can really turn their lives around. I saw John Mulaney, comedian John Mulaney, even talked about the Matthew Perry book and how the struggle really hit close to home. He also had some major addictions. So many of these entertainment personalities get so wrapped up in their addictions because most likely it's already kind of like DNA. It's already there. Either they're already addicted or they're culpable, Cody, to be addicted, but then money and access. Like when you start making so much money and when you have a celebrity kind of like fame around you and you're surrounded by yes people will just give you money. I mean, give you whatever you want. They'll just find it for you. They'll find a way and you can find a way because you have so much money, right? It's really, really, really bad. Speaking of yes people, this is a perfect segue to get into my first couple episodes of Paris in Love. So Paris in Love is a show that I personally was not interested in. I talked about this yesterday. I have absolutely not one part of me that's like, oh my God, I'm dying to check out Paris Hilton and what's going on in her life. I'm just not interested in it. I don't know if it's the excessive money. I don't know if it's the baby talk. I don't know if it's just the whole vibe of like, that's hot, loves it. Like, it's just not who I am. I really, really like watching, which is also why the Kardashians is just a challenge. I like watching more real people. Even Housewives, you could say it's produced, you can say all that, but there are so many, they're so flawed that it feels like, whatever. But I did give Paris in Love a try yesterday because I had a slow day and I was able to have it on in the background while I was doing laundry, doing things around the house. And seriously, thank goodness for my phone and an AirPod because I can watch my shows while I'm cooking and whatever. So Paris in Love has only had one season. Season 2 starts November 30th, so Thursday. And season 2 is where we're going to find out, we're going to see more of like when she introduces her son, etc. But season 1 is all about prepping for the wedding with her and her fiance, Carter. Is his last name Reem? I think it's Reem. It's spelled differently, but it's pronounced, I believe, Reem. Okay. I'm going to be 100% honest. I do not find the appeal with him. Carter, Reem is, guys, I don't get it. Now, I am not one like your attraction, who you're sexually attracted to, who you're physically attracted to. It's so subjective. It's so like, it depends on the person. It's like, how can we, judge this? But I am just so in shock watching him go through his life, the way he talks to her, the way he talks in general, the way he acts, what he's into. Uh, uh, she's into this. So basically, Carter is a guy that she has been like friendly with. They met 15 years ago. Timing was off. They met at a house party. I guess he's a self-made guy. I have no idea. He's a small town guy, came from nothing, self-made. Couldn't tell you what he does. Couldn't tell you. But they started dating. I'm going to look him up as we speak. What does Carter Reem Carter Reem career? Okay, I just saw venture capitalism. No, it says he's an American author, entrepreneur, and venture capitalist. He's most notable for his marriage to Paris Hilton. Red flag. And for founding M13 Ventures, which is an angel investment firm. So obviously he does well. Okay, so the first episode is essentially talking all about their obsession and love for each other. Here's the first things that I noticed that I thought were off. They celebrate every single anniversary. It's the 20th month anniversary that Paris and her fiance are having. And they decide to go to, he sends her the most expensive, you wouldn't even believe, necklace. I can't even remember from where. It was some diamond, insane expensive necklace with a card saying, I picked out a bunch of dresses for you. It was very pretty. Honestly, PK could never. PK could never. It was a pretty woman moment, right? And then she picked out a dress and then she met him. They went on a helicopter. They went to San Francisco for the night, having dinner. And that was for the 20th month anniversary. Now, of course, this was going to be filmed, so maybe it was stepped up, but he was like, I want to celebrate every single anniversary with you. I don't want to put into your minds why I find him the most unattractive, like not the most unattractive physically. I'm not talking about only physical. He's, by all intents and purposes, he's a good looking guy. Like there's nothing wrong with him. It's just his personality is so not someone that I would ever think someone like a Paris Hilton would be into, except for the fact that he does fawn all over her. And maybe if you're Paris Hilton, that's something you need and want. But a couple noticeable things. The show is generally based on her relationship with Carter and her relationship with her mother, because Kathy is a huge, huge part of this show. She's a huge part of it. It's all about the wedding planning. She wants to be involved in the wedding planning. She's frustrated that Carter's taking over. Also, that's weird. He's taking over all of the wedding planning. He's like pushing her into planning the wedding. He can't. He's like getting on her about it. He says that she's not acting like a bride. He's almost a little like covert controlling with her in terms of how he tells, her how to act and what to do and how she should be and how she should treat this wedding. You need to spend more time with people like A, B, and C who go to weddings. Paris Hilton, she's smart. She's successful. She has so much money, so many businesses, this and that. But there is an arrested development about her. There's an experience that when you see her talk, there's two very different Parises. There's the Paris where she has a little bit of a deeper voice and she seems like she's a little bit more on top of her shit. And she's just like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. And then there's the Paris that is like, loves it, loves it. Please, God, please, hi. And she turns into that girl, the high voice Paris, the baby voice. She turns into that when she talks to her fiance, which I find very odd. And I actually find it very off putting because she says that she goes into the baby voice when she's uncomfortable, which makes me think she almost has to act or try to be a different person around her fiance. It's maddening to watch. She'll have these conversations in all pink. She drives a pink Bentley. She has unicorn, you know, um, crowns. She's like stuck in a 10-year-old body in a lot of ways. It almost is giving in a much healthier way, like that Anna Nicole Smith vibe. But there's not, luckily, from what I've seen, there's not like any addiction or substance abuse, right? Now, Carter. Carter has a shady past. This, of course, is not being brought up on the show. But yesterday in Daily Dose of Donna Facebook group, I posted about this. I posted about the show. I was like, how can anyone actually find him attractive? And someone commented a Daily Mail article that basically talks about the fact that he has a 10-year-old daughter whom he has no relationship with. He has no relationship with. He met her in the I'm going to pull up the article. He met her in the hospital. Her name is Evie or Evie, Evie. And he had her with a reality star. Her name is Laura Bellizzi. And it says, according to this article, it says that in the hospital, he met his daughter, his baby daughter. He kissed her on the forehead, handed her back to her mother, and left. And never has seen her. I don't, you guys, like deadbeat dad, abandoned dad is not hot, right? That's not hot, Paris. It's not. And it feels really, really effed. Like, for what reason did you abandon your daughter? I don't care if you hated her mother. He was there for the birth and he walked out straight after she came into the world. Like, she has not heard from him since. Laura Bellizzi was a reality star on a show called Secrets of Aspen. Never heard of it. But this is a picture of her and her daughter. This is the woman that he had the baby with, and this is Carter's daughter. This is Paris Hilton's stepdaughter. How they're not talking about it. No one's talking about it. But now they have their son, Phoenix, and now they have their daughter, London. And she has siblings and she hasn't met them. I find it so wrong. And it actually makes me really, really concerned that he is somehow shady. There's a shadiness there that I feel. I don't know if you guys are feeling it. I don't know if he's in it for she says that he's not in it for the money because he's a self-made man and he's financially completely fine. But he may be in it for something. And I haven't figured it out yet. But there's something about it that just feels really, really weird. Now, Kathy and her mom have a strange relationship too. Paris is very scared of her mom. You can see it right off the bat. Now, Kathy doesn't do anything that is, out of bounds as a mother. She just seems like your typical kind of controlling mother who wants to have like her hands on the wedding and wants to know a lot. But Paris is very scared of her. And you can tell her biggest fear is, upsetting her. Her biggest worry is like, saying something that her mom is going to be mad at. I feel like Paris is a people pleaser through and through. And she's always wanting people to kind of be happy with her. So, which is why, there's like, we're going through the wedding planning. We're only 4 episodes in. When I say we, I mean me. But it's why she almost like wants to do a lot of things away from her mom and opposite from what her mom wants. Like there's a meeting that they have with Mindy Weiss, who's a celebrity party planner. She plans all the celebrity weddings, all the Kardashian stuff. And she basically is saying, I kind of want a different kind of wedding. And Kathy starts to get like sweaty and she's like, oh my God, what? This is not okay. And, Paris immediately like, just kidding, just kidding. I almost feel like Paris is being stunted and not able to fully, do what she wants in her life because she's so nervous about her mom. Remember, there's also that horrible traumatic story that she got sent away to that school Provo when she was in, middle school or high school, I don't remember, where they really abused her and they treated her really, really badly. Another thing that like was kind of strange is that Paris wanted to get married. Oh my God, I deep dived this. So Paris's grandfather, a couple of you have mentioned House of Hilton, so I feel like I need to read it. That's I guess a memoir on that whole Hilton family. It's very interesting. So Paris's grandfather, Baron Hilton, this is her dad's dad. I'm pretty sure his name was Baron. He was an insanely successful man. Self-made also, but then took over for his father's company. So her great-grandfather's company, and this is all on dad's side, to take over as CEO of the Hilton, world. He owned a house that he bought I think, well, it was built in the 30s. Let me look, because I was so interested in this last night. Brooklawn Estate. So this is in Bel Air. This is a home. Yes, it was Baron. That's his name. Okay. So he bought the home years and years ago. Hold on. I want to find the exact year. It could have been the 30s. Oh, I have to find, I don't want to get it wrong, but 1935, this house was built and it was sold for $100,000 at the time. But now it was just resold. And we see the house because this is where they eventually have the wedding. But it was just resold by Paris's brother, Baron, and father for $75 million. This was a house that was sold for $100,000 in the 30s. $75 million. Okay, this house is stunning. Look it up if you want. It's called the Brooklawn Estate. It's in Bel Air. It's 2.5 acres. There's a tennis court. There's a gorgeous pool. There's huge gardens. But it was so crazy because Paris and her fiance go there to see the grounds of where they're going to have this wedding. Kathy walks in and she immediately makes it about herself. right? She comes in and she starts to hysterically cry. Paris is like, is everything okay? And she's like, I remember the last time I was here and I was with your papa and da-da-da. And I have a feeling there's a lot of narcissism in that family. I have a feeling Kyle Richards is not the only one. I think all of them struggle with this. And I think Paris probably spends a lot of his time, um, a lot of her time, managing her mom's emotions, which is partially why I think Paris is still a little kid. I find it really interesting. So I don't know how many more episodes there will be, but then we, of course, culminate on the wedding. Hopefully I'll finish it by November 30th and I'll be covering the new season with you guys because I think it's a really interesting take. I'm less interested in Paris Hilton and I'm more interested in the family dynamics and this Carter guy. And I'm also really interested in like the old money of the Hiltons. I want to know more about that. Like, I just want to see it all. So anyway, go check out Paris in Love. It's on Peacock. We'll definitely be watching it. And that's that. Tonight is Salt Lake City. Tonight is Winter House. Do we really care? But Winter House is still on. And I will see you guys tomorrow on Wednesday's Daily Dose. Of course, thank you so much for subscribing, for being here as always, and leaving a 5-star review and rating over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Mwah. Bye.